Welcome to my Manfrotto Lastolite panoramic green screen review. I'm using this green screen now for about 18 months and I share my experience with you. And I actually have not only one of them, I have two of them. You can see it here. The other one is standing here. I also have this connection part that you need to connect two of these green screens. And I also have three of these, the same fabric, also from the same brand. On the floor, right now I have only one, but for example I have a second one here. This is actually not meant for the floor, but you can hang it like that's another green screen that you can hang just, if you have a stand like as if you would hang curtains. Obviously then you should hang it not like curtains, but you should hang it even. Okay. So let's start with the fabric first, because today's actually a very good day. It's one of the rare days that I have daylight coming into my room here. This is a one-bedroom apartment. Usually it's black. I have it blacked out, so no daylight is coming from outside. But today, yes, and you can already see this green screen is very translucent. It's a very thin fabric. Let me show you. So now this here is the my connection part, but the fabric of all these things is the same. You can see it's this very thin, in Germany we call it Molton. I have no idea what the international or English word for this fabric is, but you know, it's also used for acoustic and usually in black and usually much thicker. But this is the back. You can see here it looks much different. It's very easy to see what's the front and what's the back. Yeah, and this is this very cozy fabric, but it's thin. The good news, and that's very important, is that we don't have any reflections. So it's very nice to lit. So if you have no daylight coming from outside, just some lights, and you don't have any reflections. Very good for green screen. But what you definitely should know is, well, it's translucent. For example, if you have this cheap paper green screen, like this traditional paper roll coming from the top, this is definitely absorbs the light coming from the back much better than this one. So be aware if your room is not fully darkened, not fully black, and if you in the past maybe used your green screen to provide like light coming from the outside, this green screen won't do the job for you. Number two, let's talk about this panoramic format, and this is what makes this green screen unique. By the way, I'm talking about the Manfrotto Lastolite green screen. So don't ask me what they did there. Like, there is a Manfrotto only version and there's a Lastolite by Manfrotto version. The thing is, the Lastolite is only half the price and the Manfrotto is twice the price. As far as I know, it's exactly the same piece. So this is definitely the cheaper one, the Lastolite. And of course, I bought it because of the width of this panoramic format, and that's also the reason why I got two of them and I connected them, and it looks amazing when you have this huge wall of green and then I cover the floor and everything is just beautiful green depending on my room size. And I did this because I'm using it for virtual production. So I'm moving my camera, I have a tracking sensor on top. And usually I do a lot of camera movements, so that was my plan with doing it. But this plan didn't work out. Why? Because it's not high enough. Right now, like, the camera is around the same height as my face, and that's wonderful. You can see I have enough space above me, but I'm talking like this. So what I'm shooting, for example, is a lot of the time is dancers, artists. And when you can see, they make this arm movements, and this is already not high enough anymore. And the camera is like on the same height as my face. So that's not good. And I'm still very close to my green screen, so I can touch it, right? I should be more like this in the best case. So have not stand exactly in front of the green screen to avoid shadows and so on. And you can see how tight it already gets above my head. This is a big no for this green screen. I have a lot of issues and trouble with this. especially since I'm recently started to shoot with no tracking anymore. Well, recently started is not correct, because there in virtual production we have different options. We can shoot with the camera on a tripod or with tracking system, but in most of the cases today or in the last weeks and the last month, I rotate my camera horizontally. I know it sounds strange, and I keep it on a tripod. The thing is, for this horizontal camera movement I get a higher resolution picture and I make virtual camera movements, and this definitely is a big reason not to get a panoramic green screen, but this traditional high green screen. I mean, there we have this issue with we cannot go enough from left to right, right? I mean, that's another big issue. If you want to do camera movements from left to right, you probably nearly have no other chance than getting another green screen. But let me tell you, this one, it's not the one. If you really want to make camera movements, you need to get like a side wall. You need to get a big professional green screen. Or, and here's my recommendation, the budget recommendation and the cheap recommendation. You get some of these green screens. So this is meant to be a green screen, right? That you can hang it. It's huge. I mean, it's at least the size, maybe bigger. You can hang it if you have high ceilings, and just hang it straight to the bottom, and then on the bottom you get another one. And from this one you get two, either side by side or around the corner, whatever works best for you. If you ask me, this is by far the much better version, and it's also much cheaper. I mean, this one is like $500 or so, and this one is just 60, maybe 40. And it's also a good part to come to the next thing about this green screen, because in the best case, you want to have an even green screen, right? To avoid shadows. Not like this. This is very loose, and also here. And also, not to forget, on the floor. I mean, they have gladly this piece that you can, like, there's a little overlay between green screen and the floor, but it doesn't work like it should work, because it's rarely even. Even if you spend a lot of time and fixing it and so on, it gets messed up really fast, and you have shadows here. This is a very critical part on the floor, especially when you don't have the green screen like fully open. Also here in this corner, you always have an overlay, and for some degree you have to close it a little, because otherwise it will fall off, right? So, I mean, I have it closed a lot right now. If I would have a bigger room, I would be able to open it more. Sometimes I position it like this and then I open it more. But you still have these corners here, and there are shadows, and they are on the harder side to key out. Yeah, this is where you get issues. So, and last but not least, reflections here on the side. If you are interested in virtual production, if you work with tracking systems, there's nothing worse than having reflections in your room. No matter if it's a fridge that's standing in the room, a coffee machine, or the first part you can have it here on the green screen, reflections. Try to avoid this in any case for virtual production if you want to work with a tracking system. And last but not least, when you want to connect, one bonus tip, if you really want to connect two of them, this guy here also causes shadows and makes the green screen less even. I mean, it's pretty clear, but I didn't thought about it. I didn't think about it when I got this, that this causes shadows. Yeah, because you have it like as an overlay here, and you can already see that this is a critical part also for an evenly lit green screen. So, is this green screen a recommendation for me? You know what, for some reason I like it because of the fabric. It's so smooth, and also for my room here, I don't have higher ceilings in this room, so I used to have high ceilings in my old room, but in this room I don't have high ceilings, and it's it's hard to go much higher with this other solution. But if you have higher ceilings, my big recommendation is definitely just get the fabric. It's a nice fabric, and hang it by yourself, something like how you would like hang curtains, but make sure that it's evenly lit. So on the other side, I want to mention one thing. So I think the keys today, the green screen keys, and especially the 3D in DaVinci Resolve, and also the live key in Ximmetry, they're so extremely good today that you can work with like shadows and so on. Yeah, but I mean, the best thing is always to start with a well-lit green screen if you want to avoid like issues, especially around the feet, and avoid shadows and all this stuff. Yeah, so this green screen, I mean, I talked about everything. Now you can see if this green screen is for you or not. For some reason, I like it, but definitely my next green screen will be with higher ceilings, and either this one that I hang just the fabric, or I get a sick wall. We will see. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in check out my work, what I do with this green screen, because I shoot a lot and I shoot it in a very fancy way within 3D space, like the Metaverse green screen version. That's virtual production with Unreal Engine. Check out other videos on my channel. And I'm also looking forward to your visit on my website. It's moons-mooniverse.com. The link is down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.